All right. Before we go to Dr. Peter Breggin, Dr. Peter Breggin is the author of the book that I showed you a while ago, Medication Madness, the role of psychiatric drugs, in cases of violence, suicide, and crime. It's come out now, according to one report, of what meds the school shooter was on out of Nashville. Dr. Breggin has been an expert on school shootings and these meds. He's going to join us in just a minute. But before we do, this is our opportunity to interview for the very first time the developer, the CEO of one of our sponsoring products that we have screened and scanned, and that is Bluegenics. And we're happy to have him on board tonight. Let me go there to bluegenics.com. Indulge us, folks, for just a few minutes, because this is what helps us make programs like this available for free. Then we're going to go right away to Dr. Peter Breggin. Sir, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks a lot, Brannon. Really nice to meet you. You
too. Let's go right to your website here. We've been promoting Gatatana. In fact, by the way, let me show this real quick. Melissa brings it to me a lot of times, right? The audience knows, you probably don't know, but it's not uncommon for me to drink this during the broadcast at night. A lot of times she brings it to me right as the show's getting going, sets it off to the side, walks back out. So she brought it to me about 5-6 minutes ago, and I will work on it during commercial breaks or while they go to full screen on my different guests. So we are taking it each and every day. I'm finding it that it does easily replace a meal, that I'm not hungry, but we're also finding out about all the other benefits. Tell me about your role as the CEO, this product, and tell our audience the benefits of it, because we discriminate as to what products we offer, and my wife has screened this with Dr. Lana, and I want you to tell our audience about it. Just like we visit with Dr. Mark Miller over Bella Grace, I want to have you tell us the benefits of this product you've developed.
Okay, well, my journey on this started in 2005, so this hasn't been an overnight thing for sure. And I'm originally from the Vancouver area. I grew up in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, and I currently live right now on the East Coast. So I live in Moncton, New Brunswick, which is the neighbor of the state of Maine. And I actually just got introduced to marine phytoplankton originally as a fish food. And it was supposed to be for shellfish that were destined for restaurants. And the person that I was working with ate it kind of as a joke. But he ended up having a miraculous healing in front of my eyes with mesothelioma and also with diabetes. And this is well documented. I mean, this was the front, and this recovery made the front page of the newspaper. And I was just working them to sell fish food. And so his recovery made the newspaper, and a lot of people came over to pick up the phytoplankton, and they came back a month later talking about stories that were of healing that were deemed impossible. And I ended up taking it myself, and I had a miraculous personal experience with energy, and I had this candida rash that I had for years that went away. But the big thing for me is I was a long-term migraine headache sufferer, and I was a very severe case. I was having like 3 migraines a week ever since I was 12 years old.
Oh, and let me just stop you right there, because at about age 12, I started getting migraines regularly. I finally grew out of it. But if no one has ever had a migraine, and I'm talking where you're throwing up, where your head pounds literally and your head moves on the pillow, where your eyesight is distorted, or you go blind in one eye, I'm telling you, I was getting one about every 3 months at about age 12. And like I said, I finally grew out of it apparently. But you were getting them every 3 days? That's atrocious.
Yeah, every 3 days. I was in severe case. Yeah, it was like a bowling ball inside my head. Absolutely severe pain. And this was like, I'd be that kid that had to go to the dark room at the counselor's office, right? Like at 2:00, and there's Dave going to, and I just lived with that, after a while, when you have kids and all that stuff, you have to live with it. And when I ended up taking it, I haven't had a migraine headache since 2005. So I ended up taking it and it went away. So then it was like going, and then so what happened was a month later after this newspaper article came out, and these people started to come back with lights in their eyes talking about like miracle stories of healing. And it's just like, and I witnessed this, and I had my own experience, and I'm like, if these people are feeling half as good as I'm feeling, like what in the world is this phytoplankton? And so, which kind of segues into, which is, and this is really ironic, Brandon, is that marine phytoplankton is the first food. It is the base nutrient, the master nutrient, the nutrient that God chose to nourish the entire oceanic ecosystem. It's the most abundant plant on Earth. It produces the most of the oxygen that we breathe, and it like sustains the entire oceanic ecosystem. And then the krill eat the phytoplankton, and then the whales eat the krill, and they live to be 100 years old. And then the birds feed on the fish and all this stuff. And it's just it was mind blowing because it was completely overlooked by the nutritional world and doctors and everything, like the master nutrient. Like, I mean, it's actually irony in its highest form. And I'm just like, okay, this is the first nutrient, so it just makes logical sense that maybe all these people, and just in general, like people are suffering because they're malnourished, because the food is not containing what we need. So then there's an imbalance. And so, of course, through supplementation and all these things that you hear about, like people are trying to, make people better. And I believe that, people have good intentions. But the thing is that, I mean, this is the foundation of the food chain. This is the base nutrient. I didn't create this. I just like saw the obvious. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to dedicate my life to developing this. And I dedicated my life in 2006, like early 2006, to do this. And basically pioneered marine phytoplankton as a human nutrient, discovered the strain Nanochloropsis gaditana, which is in the Atlantic Ocean. And it was just the most complete nutrient-dense phytoplankton on paper. And, I imported it into Canada into 2006, like in its pure form, and gave it to people. They had the same thing, and I ended up getting a license for it in Canada. And I basically went from a basement. I sold it to a skeptical pharmacist who his long-term acid reflux went away, and he was on Tecta. And then he told a bunch of people, got it and put it in all his stores. And 4 years later, I was nationally listed in Costco. I was nationally listed in Shoppers Drug Mart, which is kind of similar to like a Walgreens or a CVS. Serviced thousands of pharmacies and sold phytoplankton by the truckload. And it became a real success story. And these results have been consistent through the whole time. And then so we kind of use Canada as a test market of like, what to do and what to learn.
And when did you come into the U.S., David? When did you come into the U.S.?
Well, actually, just this year. Like we just just this year. Like I launched into U.S. under this Gaditana Original. So the pure powder was our best-selling product. I did put it into tablets for a while, and I kind of regret that I did that because I felt like it wasn't like right directly into the into the bloodstream. I remember I saw one of your earlier broadcasts there when you were drinking it. You're talking about the taste because, of course, it has a unique taste, right?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. It tastes a little green at first. Okay, it does taste a little green at first.
Yeah.
And the first day I had it, I was like, oh, "That's a little green," but I drank it. Then the second day, it didn't quite taste as green to me, and now I just gotten used to it, and I hardly recognize it.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is to people is don't let your first drink discourage you from keep going, because after you drink it for a week, I have found that you don't really notice it.
Yeah, well, this is kind of the, like when people are on the ocean, that smell that they have, that's the smell of phytoplankton. The smell of the ocean is the smell of phytoplankton. And then so what you're getting there, so the thing is the reason why it was overlooked is because it was invisible. The size of a phytoplankton cell is 1.2 microns, which is a third of the size of a blood cell. So in one of those scoops, Brandon, that you take, which is just a small little scoop, there's 90 billion phytoplankton plants in there. It looks like a
90
green
billion.
globe.
90 billion.
90 billion, yeah.
Let's
90
show the
billion.
screen here, Logan, because here it is, and Melissa makes it for me, scoops it in there and stirs it up in water. 90 billion. Oh my.
Yeah, billion, like with a B. Yeah, like, and so, yeah, like, so you can imagine. So what is happening, Brandon, why this is significant is that pure nutrition has never been available before. Like, people would go, well, what's pure nutrition? Like they wouldn't be able to answer that because they never knew. Well, the pure nutrition is actually marine phytoplankton because that is the first food. And then so what I think is happening, and it's just very logical, is that everybody knows that nutritious food is good for you. I mean, this is not no big mind-blowing discovery here. And people, like, if they eat good, well, they get better health results, but this is just the master nutrient. Like, so for example, vitamin C is green.
Like
it's not orange.
It says here that the results will not come overnight. It takes anywhere between a single day and a month of daily consumption of Gadatana Original to have a noticeable difference. It may take some people time for their body to adapt to the taste of pure nutrition. Eventually, your body will crave the neuro flavor of Gadatana. To help get started, mix with pineapple juice or applesauce to mask the taste. Well, I didn't do that, folks. In the first day, like I said, I was like, wow, it's a little green. The second day, I said to Melissa, that's not quite as bad. By the third or fourth day, I was hardly noticing it. Now, I want to take people back to the website real quick before we wrap up and go to Dr. Peter Breggin. Look at this, because, folks, we're all about the science. I love the science. You guys know that about when I talk about glutathione or Bellagrace. I love the science. Same thing is here with Bluegenics. Go to their website, go to their main page. They're in the main website, okay? Here we are. And then click Science, okay? Then scroll down here. Go to this one right here, the second one over. Research Overview. View a summary of the research on Gadatana Original. Okay, click it, download it. It's a PDF, okay? And then you can start scrolling through it and reading. I was going to try to make it just a little smaller if I could, but oh well. Maybe that's actually better for television. There you go. Balanced nutrition, composition, good quality of proteins. It's all here. Is there anything you want to say about this what we're seeing right here real quick, David?
Well, because of the success that we were having in Canada, a lot of that is a summary of multiple universities studying this, because since we pioneered it, like, this got the attention of of a lot of universities around the world. And pretty much in every study that has ever been done with Nanochloropsis gadatana, it's proven activity. Like, there is a cell signaling event where they say it potentially could be the perfect food for the mitochondria, which is the engine of our cell, but there, in every case, what they call a cell signaling effect. And that could be the modulation of our immune system, which is why, like, a lot of people don't get sick as often. And, they're like, whether it's reduction of inflammation or the building of collagen for your skin, or, everything. Like, there is just multiple levels of activity. And so is just a rebuilding. I mean, because again, our bodies need nutrition. So if we, give this to our body and it absorbs it, like, right into the bloodstream, well, the body knows how to heal it. I always say, like, if we cut ourselves, like, the body loves us, like, it wants us to get better. Like, the body will immediately want to heal. Like, the body, I don't think that we were designed to be unhealthy as we are. There's something going on. It's the law of cause and effect. And so, so what will happen is that if we say, people are in an imbalance, sick, or low quality of life, or in pain, or whatever it might be, and it's because they're malnourished and, this, that, or the other thing, well, if they receive it in its pure form, like in the original form of nutrition, the body can heal itself, and we've proven it, and it's a miraculous discovery. And I think it's, I'm glad that I'm just being on shows like this, because it's beyond a sales pitch. Like, it's Like, we also have the money back guarantee and all that stuff. And
Really?
I'm not
Tell me
saying
about that
to
real
pitch
quick
it.
before I let you go. Tell me about that money back guarantee.
Well, yeah, well, we have a 60-day empty bottle money back guarantee. So, like, I don't like again, for me, it's beyond a sales pitch, Brandon. It's just like this is a real quantifiable, measurable.
Well, there's science behind
thing.
it.
Yeah. Well, and there's science behind it, and it's pure nutrition, and it's like there's a lot of studies, like I said, going on that proves it. And but yeah, if somebody takes it and they buy it and they don't get the results, well then I don't want their hard-earned money. And in Canada, we had money back guarantee wrapped around everything that we did, sold hundreds of thousands of units, and we had a 0.81% return rate.
Really?
Yeah. So we know we can do that because it's like we know that people are not going to want to return it because they'll take it and then they'll feel really good and then they'll have their life before they had phytoplankton and then after, and then it's a before and after event. Like, it's amazing. Like, I think we're probably the only supplement company in the world that had people calling them with their testimonies with tears. Like, people are like literally crying. They couldn't believe like how good they feel. And then it's this awakening that they catch this light switch on. They go, wow, like my problem was rooted in malnutrition. But the thing is like, what are you going to take, right? Like, are you going to go to the pharmacy and go pick up a $6 supplement? I just don't think that that's going to solve your problem. I mean, that's why
exactly.
This isn't $5 product, right? Like, this is an $80 product, like, but it's done by pros. Like, this is hard to grow. Like, this is,
you know what? How much would you pay to not have migraines 3 times a week?
Oh, Brandon, I would easily pay $300 a month for this product. Like, if I stopped taking it, my migraines came back, I'd probably even pay more. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, in Canada here, we're kind of, we have this free healthcare, $10 gallon gas, but I know that in the US, like, I know that people have to pay some serious money to get some treatments that we take for granted over here, so what is $80 if you're say if your insurance doesn't cover it or whatever it might be, right? I mean, we're in a different country, but like, I understand the struggles that people have down there. If they are struggling, it can get really expensive. So what's $80 if it makes it go away?
Yeah, well, you cannot put a price on your health. And many of us that had COVID, like I had it 3 times, had it horrific. It's when you get that, you're like, I will never undervalue my health again. The ability to get up and do my job, to enjoy my job, to interact, to be healthy. You can't put a price on it, You really cannot. And any of us that have been sick or seriously ill at one point and know that, and you think, if I could just get well again, I won't complain. I'll just be happy to be well.
100%, Brannon. I totally get that. I mean, I'm 50 years old. I'm not on any medications, and I'm very thankful that I am not limited in anything that I do right now. I feel sorry for people that are. Well, but yeah. I know what it's like because I've lived it too, right? Like, right. I mean,
if you're having migraines 3 times a week, I mean, that, again, the migraine sufferers or who've had them, we know. I mean, that's just miserable.
Oh, it's horrible. It's like back pain on steroids. Oh. It's like, yeah, you just can't escape it, right? Like, nope. So yeah, no, I mean, but hey, Brandon, like, I mean, there's so many people that like, they can't even enjoy a pizza or they can't enjoy a chicken wing or they eat, like, some people drink water and their stomach catches on fire. Like, it's so unfair. Like, why does this happen? Like, it's just, why is all the people walking around with joint pain and like skin issues and all this stuff? Like, why the mass sickness? Like, there's a root problem.
Well, I think you already nailed it. It's malnutrition. The food that we are consuming in America is not providing the nutrition that we need. And then you add in the fact that you've got Roundup, glyphosate and all this other stuff sprayed on the food and whatnot. So we're constantly battling what is in the food, not to mention the lack of nutrition in a lot of the food. So
yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
Excellent. There it is. Blugenics. Spell it blugenics.com/Melissa. Again, this is one of the products that we have screened, we have scanned, we have studied the science. Melissa and I take it, as you already see, every day, along with the other things that I take. And we look forward to having you back on, David.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brandon. It's a real pleasure. I mean, it's, one person at a time, right? If this helps one person, then hey, then it was totally worth it.
Absolutely. And we'll let you know about the feedback we get from our audience.
Yeah, please. That would be really great.
Will do. David, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Brandon. Thank you so much.
You too. David, CEO of Gatatana. Go to bluegenics.com/Melissa. All right.